Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Star Wars Rebels episode review. This one's going to be for the episode Empire Day. And yeah, this was a pretty good episode. The main thing I really liked about it is that it did what last episode didn't do, and that was give us some information on the past of a character, but not just kind of tease us with it. I felt like they really teased us with, I suppose, mainly Sabine's backstory last episode, and they didn't really do much with it. While they didn't say anything about Hera. While in this episode, it was an Ezra focused episode, and they really presented this mystery about what happened to his parents and why he's so reluctant to actually talk about his past and what happened, and that, as far as he's aware, he grew up on the streets. He specifically says that in this episode, rather than saying something happened when he was younger, and after a few years, he ended up growing up on the streets. So I really did like that this episode had some setup like that, and I also really appreciated that this episode ended with a to be continued, just because they obviously they're aware that they're going to tell stories that are longer than just one episode, and that they're going to give them the time they need over multiple episodes. So I really appreciated that, and just ending with the cliffhanger on this episode that Ezra's old family friend Sibo the Rodian actually knows what happened to his parents is pretty big, because his kind of past has been so mysterious, as has been the case with most of these characters. But with Ezra, we're actually getting some good information on him. So in that case, this episode was a pretty big positive, and just finding out stuff like that. His birthday is the same day as Empire Day, which I suppose technically means he has the same birthday as Luke and Leia. I think that's what that means. So while I made the comparison that they happen to be the same age as Luke and Leia, he literally is the same age, born on the same day. So that's pretty interesting in itself. That's his birthday. So the comparisons kind of keep rolling in that sense. So maybe Ezra will be really important in that way. But yeah, we found out a little bit about Ezra's parents in the episode, that they kind of ran this kind of pirate radio station, giving information kind of against the Empire and just kind of anti-Empire stuff, and they kind of were trying to teach Ezra to go against the Empire and stand up for what he believes in and stuff like that, even from a young age. So it's pretty fitting that he's ended up in this group that is opposing the Empire as well. And yeah, just overall interesting episode to see Ezra kind of really dealing with all these emotions and kind of memories of the past coming up as Empire Day actually happens, and he is reluctant to tell all of his new friends in this group, even though he is fairly close to them now. Even Kanan, he kind of stays away from telling the people. So maybe as time goes on, he's going to kind of come to realize that he can actually trust them, and he is actually going to tell them about his past and be more open about his feelings and the like, and maybe that will result in Hera being a bit more open about her past, because yeah, that's becoming a little bit of a problem. But other than that, it was a pretty nice episode, action packed. The main gist of the story in this case was that they wanted to destroy this new prototype TIE fighter, and they also found Sibo, and they're going to extract him off world to use the information he knows about the Empire against them. Stuff like they know that there's a factory going to be producing TIE fighters and some other stuff as well. So that may be important going down the line. The Callus is involved, as is the Inquisitor, so it was a pretty big episode in that sense. They kept a lot of the action, definitely, I think, for the second part of this, which I liked, in that they made it character focused and presented a lot of the mysteries and setup in this episode, and more of the action and some of the reveals will happen in the second part. So it really was a big role player of an episode. It did what it needed to do, and just there's a lot of stuff now set up in the series. Obviously, let's go back 2 episodes and you have the whole thing with Zaire and Jai and stuff like that. So they're beginning to introduce a lot more stuff into the series, and we're getting towards the halfway point in the season as well. So I kind of like that they're kind of getting towards that kind of mid-season kind of finale type feel. And what else is there to really talk about with the episode? Yeah, apparently Chopper is. I don't know if they were making you wonder, like, oh, is Chopper, like, badly damaged here? Or is he just kind of taken out of this fight and was a little bit electrocuted? I'm going to go with the latter and say he was just a little bit electrocuted rather than anything serious happening to him. But yeah, it definitely leaves us off in a pretty dramatic situation. It definitely worked on one point in terms of, you know, the final reveal that Sibo knew something about what happened to Ezra's parents, but in terms of where the episode left off, it was a little bit like mid-air, like just in the middle of a chase before any of the big action like really happened. But definitely some cool stuff set up with this episode, and maybe them having all this information from Sibo will lead to them maybe searching for Ezra's parents, finding out some mystery about Ezra's parents, or they'll link up with Bail Organa and give him the information that they have about the Empire to actively promote the full-on rebellion or something like that. There's a lot of ways the series can actually go from here. There's some super interesting stuff going on. Other than that, it was a fairly to-the-point episode. It was very focused on Ezra and then just the other characters kind of being aware that he kind of wasn't, just being aware that he this day is kind of tough for him, that he's experiencing some stuff, going through some emotions, and you know, obviously there's going to be some resolution, I assume, next week with regards to that. And he even, what Ezra wasn't so responsive in his Jedi training with Kanan this episode, when usually he's super excited about this. So his past really brings up a lot of bad memories for him, and him dealing with them is probably going to be a big thing going forward. So there's that. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about the episode. It's probably going to be a short video, but I feel like it was just a really solid episode. The mystery was interesting, though we don't have a massive amount to go on just yet. But depending on how the next episode goes, this two-parter could be potentially one of the best of the series so far. But for now, that's been the review for Empire Day. In the comments, definitely let me know what your thoughts were on the episode. I really did enjoy it, especially after last episode where I was kind of disappointed with where the characters went. I was a bit more happy about this one, so that's definitely good. That, you know, it's not just Rise of the Old Masters that is like the really high quality episode. That this one has the potential with the next episode to be kind of right up there as well. So that's been a review. Thanks for watching, and bye.